Oh, hey. I didn't see you there. Did you know that you need 10k subscribers to be on the Animation Meme Wiki? Unfair, I know. But you can help me reach that goal by subscribing. It's free, and you get an animation every month. I know with everything going on in the world, you probably don't, but just in case you do have money you want to waste, you can commission me and buy my adubs, both of which you can find on my Unvale and TikTok page. Also follow me on TikTok and Bluesky.
If the audio sounds weird, it's because my microphone just broke and I have to use my iPhone microphone to record this video. I'm gonna put like an AI voice filter over it so like you can still hear me. Actually, no I'm not, because like you can just hear me perfectly fine. Hello everybody, my name is Clover Bites, but you can just call me Clover. And today we'll be talking about Lemon Puppy's video on Chicken Nugget. And I gotta be real here, I'm gonna be really biased in this video because I do not like this creator, like at all. In every video I've ever watched from them, they come off as just so condescending, especially in their worst types of OCs video. If you make a sparkle dog,
you're literally the Antichrist and you will be burned at the stake.
Just my opinion though. That was the whole vibe I got from that video. What's the name of that TV-headed girl who would criticize animators even though she's literally never animated a day in her life? Yeah, Lava. Lemon Puppy reminds me of Lava. Okay, rant over. Let's get into the video.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video of mine. So first of all, thank you all for the support and engagement in the last video. In that video I talked about the story of Cat Bird Dog and how it was ruined. How it started off as a really grounded and relatable story, only to have an unexpected change in plot. And not a good change, a bad one. That ruined the story for me and many others. But that isn't the topic for this video. If you want to watch that, make sure to watch the video before or after this one. Because in this video we are talking about Chicken Nugget and how its story went from something silly and fun to something serious with high stakes. It was a really random change in the tone. Chicken Nugget was always an episodic and silly story, where it didn't really matter what episode you watched, it was just goofy antics with cute characters, with some of them having cute romances. And then they decided to make it into a story about the main character Chicken Nugget actually being a demigod and almost destroying the universe with all the characters we know and love. I've kept up with Chicken Nugget's animations for a long time now, and most importantly, before the random demigod story happened.
The demigod arc, not story, arc, wasn't random. Chicken Nugget lore has had a lot of build-up dating all the way back to when French Fry made their first appearance. Also, since you brought up Chi and coffee, Chi spending more time with coffee and less time with chicken was one of the main factors that led to the climax of the demigod arc.
I remember first seeing her animations back around 2020, and
oh, okay. Now I see why you thought the demigod arc was random. You're not an OG.
And I've been enjoying them ever since. I always love seeing their cute and wacky stories they fit into the animated shorts. They have great characters with great writing and clear personalities. It's just a slice of life story, but the characters still have so much depth put into them, making them all interesting in their own way. Also, I love the fact their names are all based on various foods and drinks. That's such a cool concept. Chicken Nugget is the main character, and he is silly and strange. Sometimes he is really strange, in fact. And a lot of the time, he is the relatable character in the animated shorts.
What? No, he isn't. Slushy is the relatable character.
I find he doesn't have as many defining characteristics as he is the main character and the story's main mascot. Cheeseburger is shy and soft-spoken. She is the sweetest character and always looking out for the others. She tends to worry a lot about what others think about her, and sometimes needs reassurance from her friends. Slushy is a friendly, outgoing character who's always rambling on about anime stuff. She also likes drawing and writing fanfiction, and she gets very passionate about her interests. You can tell what type of person they made this character for, as she's very relatable to a lot of people who like anime, art, or stories. Ice Cream is the edgy, doesn't care about anything type character. They are a demon, but it's weird since they didn't start out that way.
I need to calm down. I'm not gonna sit here and get mad over a cartoon rabbit character. I'm not. Okay. I'm going to try to be as calm as I can here, because Ice Cream is one of my favorite characters behind Onion Ring, and I really don't like it when people misunderstand characters I like. Yes, it wasn't outright stated that Ice Cream was a demon, but it was always implied, right? You know, with Ice Cream always having 3 question marks as their species next to Bunny? See kids, this is what we call subtlety. There's also just the fact that they're always doing demonic shit. Like in the early episodes of the series, Ice Cream was the only character that could canonically shapeshift outside of Chicken Nugget.
It wasn't really stated at the start that they were a demon, and Ice Cream seemed more like they were a cute-looking bunny that was just into dark stuff, although later in the series it does state they are a demon. French Fry is the contrasting character to Ice Cream. They are happy-go-lucky and very cutesy, and are a magical wish dragon spreading virtue. Although when talking to Ice Cream, they can easily get annoyed and frustrated, as the two are so different, but that later becomes a romance between the two for the same reason. Sody Pop is a hyperactive, wacky kid, emotional, loud, has a temper, and cute, all the things you'd expect from a child. They are really good for the slapstick comedy. Coffee is a sheep in wolf's clothing. No, like, literally. She's a sheep, but she definitely acts way more like a wolf would. She's edgy and cool, and doesn't really smile too often, as she doesn't really make many facial expressions, other than her neutral face. She is also a love interest for Cheeseburger. Bezel is the embodiment of time, hence the clock getup. He's a wacky guy who loves to make others annoyed. He's honestly only brought into the story for the demigod plot, otherwise, I doubt he would have even been a character. Hot Sauce is an angry, hot-headed guy who starts out as the mean character, and then over time becomes better as a character since he goes through a self-improvement arc. Milkshake is Slushy's friend, and isn't really that big of a character, although whenever we do see her, it's really funny, so I felt like I should include her here. She's always dating a new guy, and usually her boyfriends are just terrible people. Right now she's dating Old P, which is just really weird. And that's it for the characters in Chicken Nugget. Some of them are even dating, which makes things even more fun. Ice Cream and French Fry have an enemies to lovers complex, while Cheeseburger crushes on Coffee and works up the courage to ask her out. It's all really cute stuff. They all work out so perfectly for the slice of life story that it is, as it's all low stakes and fun silly antics. Like, sometimes the characters literally explode and die, and are just back in the next few episodes. There's no real stakes here. And then they decided to change the plot to something serious with high stakes. And it just felt off.
They didn't change the plot because there was no plot to begin with. It's just like you said. Chicken Nugget is a slice of life story, and by its very nature, a slice of life story doesn't really have any plot. Also, Chicken Nugget has had serious episodes way before the demigod arc, and I don't see you complaining about those episodes. Granted, they weren't as serious as Chicken nearly ending the world, but they were still pretty up there.
The story was never meant to be taken seriously, as again, it was just a slice of life story of silly and cute moments. I will say, they did build up to the demigod plot. Like, there were many episodes beforehand with Bezel talking about the upcoming event to the characters.
Okay, so first there was absolutely no build-up to the demigod arc, and now there was build-up to the demigod arc? What?
Although, even with the build-up, it still felt out of place for Chicken Nugget's story. To go from a fun, silly, episodic story to a serious story about Chicken Nugget being a demigod and almost destroying their world, it just feels random, even with the build-up.
What? Like, I don't even... Dude? The only reason the build-up is there is so that the climax isn't random. You can say the demigod arc was a bit sudden, maybe even a little rushed, but you cannot say it was random.
Like, it's hard to take any of it seriously.
It's hard to take you seriously.
As we know these characters for their cute and silly antics. And if you missed an episode in the demigod lore, then you'd really be clueless on what's happening.
Oh, the irony. Also, you know people can just go back and watch the episodes they missed, right? Like you should have done before making this video.
Which did happen to many people who were just casual viewers. For anyone who doesn't know or didn't watch Chicken Nugget, Chicken starts to feel lonely as all his friends are getting closer to each other, Cheeseburger and Coffee start dating, which leads them to hang out way more often, Ice Cream and French Fry start dating and hanging out more.
Ice Cream and French Fry started dating way before the demigod arc. It was Chi and Coffee getting into a relationship and starting to hang out less with Chicken, which ultimately led to Chicken having the crash hit of the century.
Slushy becomes Sody Pop's babysitter.
Again, that was a thing way before the demigod arc. Like, did you even watch the show?
So this leaves Chicken feeling alone, and we find out Chicken is the one who created everything, as to why they're all cute animals and related to food. And he's also the one who gives everyone their powers, such as when Sody Pop explodes or when they shrink their face. So Chicken has a lot of power that he's been holding back from the others. Slowly the loneliness gets to him, and Bezel antagonizing him probably didn't help either, so he becomes the demigod of chaos and tries to destroy the world he created. And even though they built up the demigod story, the actual episodes for the demigod story felt way too rushed. The pacing was too fast, and it was hard to follow for that reason.
It's almost as if they're uploading those episodes onto a platform that prioritizes short-form content as opposed to long-form content. No, but seriously, if it were any other show, I would agree with you. But this is Chicken Nugget. Their main platforms are TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. The word short is in the name. When uploading episodes onto short-form content platforms, you kinda have to rush things.
It felt like Chicken Nugget went from being sad and lonely about his friends to instantly being a demigod who's trying to destroy the world.
Chicken Nugget didn't go from being sad to being a demigod. Chicken being sad was what caused him to embrace the fact that he is a demigod. Also, this point is probably just a nitpick, but Chicken didn't become a demigod. He's always been a demigod, he just didn't know.
It went from low stakes to really high stakes.
You said that already.
And didn't have a lot of breathing room in between.
You know, aside from the time it took to make and upload those episodes. Also, I feel like you're the type of person to where if they did give you some breathing room and upload some silly filler episodes in between the main plot, you'd complain about it. And rightfully so, because who does that?
The actual idea that Chicken became a demigod and wanted to destroy the world because he felt left out is insane to me.
There's that condescending tone again. Also, you've clearly never been abandoned by your own friends before, because I can tell you from personal experience that that shit hurts. Coupled with the soul-crushing realization that you're literally a god, yeah, I'd start tweaking too.
Like, I get feeling left out, that really sucks, especially when someone you're close to gets into a relationship and stops hanging out with you as much. That's a real thing that happens to a lot of people. Although, why didn't he try to communicate this to his friends?
Clearly, somebody doesn't know what it's like to not be able to clearly express your feelings without breaking down and crying. Also, he did try to do that and got blown off. Like, there's an entire episode where he repeatedly tries to ask Chi to hang out, and she's just like, no, sorry, I gotta hang out with Coffee. Like, why would you even try to communicate your feelings if the person you're communicating them to isn't gonna listen?
All his friends are really understanding, with the exception of maybe Ice Cream.
Just because Ice Cream is an edgelord demon bunny doesn't mean he won't understand how Chikin is feeling.
I think any of his friends would have listened to him, especially Cheeseburger.
Yeah, you'd think that, but funnily enough, Chikin actually went to Cheeseburger and she freaking ignored him. Like, that's the whole reason he crashed out in the first place.
She started dating Coffee and spending all her time with Coffee, but it was her first relationship. A lot of people get absorbed into the first relationship and forget about others in the process. This sounds awful, but trust me, I've had friends do this to me. Heck, I did this in my first relationship. The thing is, you learn from this, and you take the knowledge into other relationships. You realize either when your friends tell you, you're spending all your time with your partner, or when your partner breaks up with you, because usually you distance yourself from your friends, and only realize when your partner is gone from your life that they are distant. Either way, the point is, it happens to many people when they start dating for the first time. And yes, it's terrible to do that to your friends, but you don't really notice when you are doing it, and need to be told that what you're doing is wrong. So going back to the story, Chi was just excited about her new relationship, and in the process wasn't hanging out with Chikin as much. But if Chikin told her this from the very start, I know for a fact she would have listened and made things right.
I literally just said this. He did try to go to Chi, and she didn't listen to him. Hi, it's Clover here, and I'm done. I'm not covering this video anymore, for a couple reasons. One, I found a comment that perfectly sums up my criticisms of this video. Pause to read, and shout out to Ball Pit Bakery. Reason number two, the rest of this video is just a Leamon puppy blaming Chikin for being abandoned by his friends, and at that point I'd just be repeating myself, and I don't think anybody wants to hear that. Also, I'm running low on storage space and this video is getting really long, but if you commission me and buy my adopts, you could help me fix that problem. But anyways, remember, hope is a myth, happiness is a delusion, and we're all doomed. I'll see you in the next one.